and I see things like this on top of everything else. I'm sorry, Des. Des, we'd like an explanation to all these things. I'll just read this to everybody. I'm going to hopefully do this with a straight face as well, because anyway, let me read it. So Des, through Anne, she wanted to put out some facts for Flat Earth. Don't be fooled by penguins. We Flat Earth scientists believe they are an alien life form sent here to protect the Great Ice Wall. These tuxedo-clad birds can often be seen sweltering around looking for pebbles, but that's a con. Many explorers often entranced by such a sight, but are then pounced upon by the deadly fighter penguins, who can remain underwater for 20 minutes after lying in wait. Early penguins could fly, but many escaped over the Flat Earth ice wall. This has to be remedied. Many people believe penguins can trigger small earthquakes due to excessive tapping. Divorce amongst penguins is a huge problem. Always remain vigilant. Oh my goodness. What to say? Anyway, I just like Des to say, does he really believe that? Every time I try to turn away and move on, bits more of Des come up, and it just makes me question things. And not just me, there are other people questioning it as well, and a lot of people don't even believe any of it's happened. We can't say for sure whether it has or hasn't happened because we haven't seen anything, and but I just wanted to say that the plot thickens. We had Des on our Hangouts twice. He came on our Hangouts. I also spoke to him privately, but in those conversations and the Hangouts we had, not once did he ever say this, what I'm going to play now, and I just want to repeat these words because he never ever said this before, so I'm just going to play the words.
We already have been to the edge. We have footage. We never made it available, and that's why we're so confident.
He told us it was a momentous day. But it wasn't, was it? Because he's already been there. He's already been there, taken footage and didn't show anybody any of it. And then this momentous other day happened last week and we still haven't seen it. So we can't celebrate it because we haven't seen it. And the only ones that have seen it are supposedly him and his team. And the only ones that are going to get to see it are any media, or bits are going to be in a book. And it's really crazy that the book is almost ready. How can it be ready with all this new footage, you know, that they took the other day? No, it's coming obviously from the footage they took before. Why not tell us all this? Why not just put it all out on the table? Pete, he's going live, he's going live, he's going live. And he didn't, and then comes a story, and then comes a story, and then comes a helper reading from a piece of paper, and then comes Finland, and then comes Australia, and then comes he needs a nice break. Now that's what he said before he went. Now we had a hangout with him, maybe we were waiting for the second one. On the second one, he never said that he'd been to the edge and that he got footage and that he wasn't making it public. He never said that. And I just find it really weird that, you know, everything changes all the time. You know, like, he couldn't do the footage this time because that lieutenant threatened him. But what? He didn't film any of the way there. He didn't want to live stream any of the way there. And he waits till he's almost there before he starts wanting to live stream, and then the lieutenant gets strange with him and says, "I'm not letting you back." And then he said that it was because they were going to be they could have been compromised. You know, the story just changes all the time. But anyway, I'm going to play the next bit because I would like him to explain this. I'd really, really like Des Walsh to explain this. We have the photographers from Australia Owen, Dave from the UK, Dawn from New Zealand, Goran from Austria, and Cass from USA, right? And the only, I'm not saying when you watch the video on the left of this next bit of video that they're not in different places. The moon is all facing the same way, just slightly different angles because of where they are, where you are on this plane. When you get to Australia, it is the other way round. So even though Des is going to explain this in this next bit of video, I would like him to explain if half of Australia is next to or off of Florida, how come it has the moon crescent of the rest of Australia, which is in the southern hemisphere? Because Australia is in the southern hemisphere, whereas Florida is in the northern hemisphere. So I would like him to explain this, please.
Let's clear this up. We have been asked this many times. We flat earthers believe that Australia doesn't exist. We believe it's a conspiracy. If you can convince people that certain countries exist, then you will have no problem convincing people that the earth is round. Where is Australia? Official Australia is made up of 3 islands dotted in or around the Bermuda Triangle.
It's been reported Australia has its own Bermuda Triangle. John and Gary are talking about it. And here's a description, and it is in the Bass Strait. Okay. And one of the last ones was quite a young guy went missing in his aeroplane. But loads of things have happened there. But it says in Australia there is a Bermuda Triangle.
The largest of those islands is just off the coast of Florida. That's in fact the reason why so many Australians speak with an American accent. In fact, much of Home and Away is actually filmed here. Unofficial Australia is a landmass not much bigger than Malta. It is home to CGI personas, paid actors, retired pilots, and some vegans. For those people who come across those islands by mistake, they are often made docile and confused by fluoride in the water. Tasmania, we believe, is part of New Zealand, and it's only about 23 kilometers off its coast. That's all for now. Thank you. Hi guys, Professor Walsh. A question that keeps coming up again and again is Finland. Does it exist? No, the landmass of Finland does not exist. This area of cold, lonely water, in fact, is owned by Russia and Japan purely for fishing rights. Japan transports large volumes of fish back home under the guise of Nokia products. Have you ever noticed Japanese citizens? Do they use Nokia products that much? The answer is no. Japan give a certain percentage of those fish to Russia, and in doing so they have an agreement so they can bypass international law. Finnish people, where do they reside? They certainly don't reside in Finland. They reside in small towns in Estonia, Sweden and Russia, in remote forest areas. I hope that clears that up. Thank you, I'm Professor Walsh.
It is noticed here that this footage is by our Robert Kidner, that's his channel, and he lives in Mexico. He is still in the northern hemisphere, but this is how he saw the eclipse. In America it was coming this way, but for him it was coming this way. And I sent some stuff on, and it is noted that in Mexico the moon does flip 180 degrees. But there's still, when you watch stuff from his channel, his does not look like Australia's. His is still coming in from a different angle. And if half of Australia is next to Florida, Mexico's looks like this. But you won't get Australia's looking like that. I know these aren't done on the same day, but this is one side of Australia and this is the other side. So they're very similar shapes and angles, aren't they? Considering this one is near Florida, but Mexico, which is now going to be a lot closer to your part of Australia next to Florida than the other part of Australia in the southern hemisphere, looks like this, or this way. So still doesn't match into what people are picking up. The same on both sides of Australia. So I'd really like him to explain. And I'm sorry, when you watch from the beginning to the end that you're not really explaining anything, not really, and that you say this about Australia but don't. It's not that we need you to explain why, properly why this is like it is, and maybe I just don't see how you can show us anyway, to be honest. But my son has driven around a lot of Australia, not maybe through the middle bit and the bottom bit on the left, but he drove right the way round, and he said, "Mum, you just got no idea how big Australia is." Nearly every conversation we had, "Mum, you've just got no idea how big it is." Well, you're saying that it's 3 islands and one isn't particularly that big, so I don't understand all that, and I could just go on and on, which I don't want to, because it is just on, and I just wondered as if you're just taking the mickey out of Flat Earth, really. Allowing Anne to put the penguin one up. It's like it's a joke. So, wherever you put it, Des, we'd love you to explain properly in more than 1 minute what all this is. Is it a joke? Is it about just making money? What is it? Because so far, if you put laughter to it, people would think that you're taking the mickey out of Flat Earth.